Hello guys, today we're gonna talk about my build, Dragonic Overlord the End build. I mean, it's not fully the End build, but it's mixed with it was mixed with this unit, Dust Storm. And you probably want to say like, why you run this? Why you run this rack line? I mean, it depends. The mechanic of this deck or the idea of this deck is about if you're going first, you use this right line. You use the overload right line and you're going first, because if you're going first is really huge advantage, just because they only got 10k base, right? You got 13 and then plus this, which is what 18, right? Which is 18. You so blast this and they get to 18, and then you have this as your boosters, because this will search a booster, right? You search this or maybe this, right? So you're able to get like how many? 18 plus 8 at most is gonna be 26, which is really huge. So basically they need to use a lot of shield powers to guard this attack. And I still recommend you guys to, if you're going first, right? If you're going first, I recommend you attack their Vanguard instead of their Rhaegar. Even though they have Rhaegar on the side, I still recommend you to attack the Vanguards, because if you attack the Vanguards, they either PG or either they lose a lot of shields. For example, right? Uh, for example, 18, because of this, 18 plus 8, at least 8, right? Which is 26. 26 hit 10 is probably gonna use like, if they have this in hand, which is 20k shields, means how many? 30, right? 30, but you're 26, right? You want to pass, right? If they put another 15, which is 35, but still want to pass, right? If you put another 15, it's gonna be 2 to pass, which is 2 big shields. They're gonna waste 2 big shields. But if you're gonna attack the rare, they gonna be like no guard, right? You know what I mean? So if they attack, if you go first, if you attack the Vanguard, you force them to PG or force them to use 2 big shields, right? To at least 2 15k shields. After they guard the first step, after they use the shield to guard, and then you have this on the side, right? You guarantee hit this for sure, right? If they guard the Vanguard, right? If they don't guard the Vanguard, you get a counter charge, right? You get a counter charge because of this one, or maybe not, depends on the situations. And then they're gonna guard this, right? But if you hit the triggers, put outside, you're gonna do a lot, way more damage. So basically, if you're going first, this rat line is very powerful. Okay, so why do I still need this right line here, the storm right line? Uh, this storm right line, as I test this deck, this right line is very weak, and in going second. If you're going second, this deck is really weak, because you cannot use the full potential of going second. That's the point of this deck. That you lose the potential of going second. This is a really huge downfall of going second, right? For example, if you're going second, you get to have 2 card advantage, but you can't use those 2 card advantage because your Vanguard need counterblast to use it, right? And then if you're going second, right, you use this right line. For example, you use this right line, they're gonna attack you, and then what? You're gonna use counterblast or not, right? Think about this. Or maybe they don't even want to attack you. You know what I'm saying? And of course of course, most of the time they're gonna attack you for sure, and then you use this counter blast, and then you search for this, and guess what? What are you gonna do? You just right on the back and then attack, get your counter charge. It's fine, but you're losing a lot of values. You have to put unit on the side, right? If you put you need more of the unit put on the side to pressure the opponent. But if you pressure the opponent, they just guard this. Guard this on the middle. They guard this on the middle, and they take the side, and then guess what? And then when they write the grade 3, they're gonna attack your side, right? Because they're the only one who do the personal right first. They're gonna attack your side. Even though they don't attack your side, right? They just PG your Vanguard next turn, right? Because they already took like 3 damage. They just PG your Vanguards, and then they use their Rega to attack your own side. You know what I'm saying? And then most of the unit, it needs your Vanguard to attack to get those values. And especially, especially the most important thing, the downfall of going second is that the opponent get to personal right twice, while you only get to personal right once, which is really, really bad in most of the time. You're losing also a lot of values. And what if they just attack your Rhaegar? You don't have counter charge anymore. They just PG your Vanguards, right? Because you couldn't get those counter charge. Because this counter charge and there's a other unit Ethan that those counter charge need Vanguard to hit. There's no other way to get counter charge. That's the really downfall of this deck. So basically, that's basically a conclusion of using this right line. If you go in second, this right line will help you tremendously, right? Why? Because this Vanguard doesn't need counter blast to use his skill. That means if you go in second, right, then that means you have 2 card advantage. That means you can just put that out and then attack the Vanguards. You can get those, like the advantage of hitting them, because you got those 2 card advantage. By the time you write your grade 3, they may be already at 3 HP, right? Unless they got lucky with heals, right? But here's the thing though, if you go in second, you want to get those advantage of going second, because you have those 2 card advantage, and they get to personal right first, right? And this one has retire, right? And this one has soul charge, and sometimes the chance is really small. But if you get to soul charge, use this right line and get to soul charge this, it's gonna be huge plus. It's gonna be huge plus, and next turn you don't write this, you just use this, right? You just use this, which is really, really huge. But as you see, most of people say, most of you guys are gonna say like, oh, you just use the right line and that's it. But here's the thing. But why do I still put this? Why do I still put this? First of all, if you're going second, this unit helps a lot. And also, this unit helps a lot, and sometimes, if by the time of grade 2, I mean, it still helps a lot with this is when it is a place on R. If you have a unit, if you have this unit, soul charge 1 and draw 1 card, and then retire 1 of the unit, right? And then when this unit attacks, so blast 1, you get 2k for each open R. Why I include this in? Why I include this in is that when you go in second, you might fail of soul charge this one, right? It's just that you might fail of soul charge this one, It's just that this unit has more chance. Like if you include this one, you have more chance of soul charting this one, right? And also, because you go in second, right? They like opponent gotta has like at least two unit on board, two regular on board, at least two front on board, right? This help you to retire one of the unit, and also this help you to attack without boosters, right? The second skill doesn't need any requirement, so it's gonna be so much safer to have this in soul, right? So that you can use this to search for those, and then you use this in your hand and then soul charge in, right? I mean, it just depends on the circumstance. It's just that this one helps a lot because this right line still does not help that much. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't help that much. It just help a little bit. But if you're including this card, it's gonna help so much. It's just not like not just tiny bit. It's just so great because the retire doesn't. This is free retirement basically. They go in, and people say, what if they don't call regulars? Then you're the one who win, right? Then you can just play normally. You know what I'm saying? You can just put this on the regular and then soul blast one. 20, attack them, right? Push them to level to HP to 4 HP. That's why I really recommend. And also this unit is not really that bad if you're going first, because if you're going first, right, opponent doesn't. If you're going first, you have really advantage. You have a huge advantage too on this regular, because you soul blast one for each empty circle is plus 2k, right? So if you're going first, if you have one of this unit, you just put on the rear guard, right? At level 2 vanguards, you can use this, to attack them. You know what I'm saying? To attack them, and then soul blast 120, right? You gain those HP advantage. And then at the moment you write this, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge if you're going first. But of course, if you're going first, this unit will be vanillas. But it's fine. But I think it's fine. I think it's very fine if this become vanilla. You just if your Vanguard needs to withstand, just discard this unit, this 3 unit. This can help you early game, so you don't need to throw this in early game. And also, this is vanilla, right? You just put this in early game, just hit them. So it's not totally useless. And of course, this deck it's just bad. The point is, this deck, it's just bad at going second, just because this unit need counter blast, and also this unit needs to be hit. That's the biggest downfall of this card, because as I said, if you're going second, there's only 13 plus 8 is only 21. It's only 21. And then you gotta waste another this shield to able to put like 25, but that's waste of time. Like that's a waste of a resource, because this unit needs to get hit, right? Because in this deck, there's no other way to ever soul shard this into soul except this unit or this unit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so bad. If you're going second, you basically 80% of the time you're gonna lose. I would say 99% you're gonna lose. You have no chance basically. Even though you get those two cards advantage, even you get those 2 card advantage. You attack them, right? You gain those HP levels. But here's the thing though, they're gonna attack. If you're going second, right? They're gonna attack your rares. If they're gonna attack your rares, so and you don't have any counter blast, and if you don't have any counter blast, you don't have any pressure at all. And then on the next turn, they will just guard your Vanguard, and then on the next turn, they just Persona Ride and get all the cards again, get those pressure again, and they push you to 4. After they push you on 4, and then they already guard everything, right? After they push you on 4, and guess what? You write this is 23 only. What are you gonna do with 23? Right now, we have these shields. What are you gonna do with 23? You're gonna pray trigger will come out, right? If you pray for trigger to come out, that means this deck it sucks. Like in this deck, in this Overlord deck, there's no thin mechanics. There's no surge mechanics. Yes, you get a surge, but this is only grade 3. It doesn't surge like only 1, right? That's only 1. How about other ones? No other ones. Then you're gonna pray the triggers to come out. That's not really realistic. So of course, because this type of course this deck, this type of build, it will make your, if you're going first, right, it will make your going first a bit weaker, but a little bit weaker. But I think it's fine, since this one, you know, able to if you're going first, you're able to, you know, get those a little bit advantage, you know. So plus 1, you know, you get 2k for each empty circle. Most of the time you're gonna get like what, 2 empty circle. I don't think, if you're going first, right, I don't think opponent gonna call Regars, since this one get most of the, I mean, you don't need to call Regars, but if opponent call Regar, you just wipe all their Regars. No, don't wipe all the Regars, still attack their face. If they call Regar, they have less shields in hand. If they have less shields in hands, you're gonna attack them. That's it, right? You just attack their face and get the restands, right? Force them to shields. I mean, it depends on the situation, right? It still depends on the situation of what you have. But going first, of course, this unit is very good, because it's 2026, right? It uses this and then this 26, right? 26, which is really good if this deck going first. And of course, if you have this type of unit in the deck, the going first power spike will be a little bit weaker. But when you're building a deck, you try to consider it. What if you're going second, right? If you're going second, if you cannot win going second, then if you roll dice, basically you lose. And even so, if you're going first, the biggest problem is that this unit doesn't get personal right. That's the point, right? We don't get to personal right on the second turn. You right on a grade 3. You don't get to personal rise. The end doesn't get to personal right on this Overlord, which is that's the biggest flaws. But if they, yeah, that's the biggest flaw. That's why. If this unit able to get the personal right on Overlord, I mean, if you're going first or going second, it's still good. Like, I mean, it is still good. Getting this, have this as a right line. But it doesn't have it. It does not have it. So basically, yeah, I think that's it about this deck build. And I would say like if you want to play this deck, sure, but I don't really recommend it. I would recommend if you really like Overlord deck, sure you can play it, but if you you need to include this right line, at least this right line, and at least with this, right? Because if they go in first grade 3, if you go in second, right? If opponent going first, they're gonna push you at level 3. They at least they want to push you at HP 3, right? So three damage. At least they want to push you to 3 damage at most, and then next turn they're gonna persona ride. They're gonna attack you to 5 HP, and then at that time you just ride this. It's too late, right? You only you own you're only able to push them to 5, which is not realistic, right? Especially if you go in second and you still use this right line, you're gonna lose for sure, because there's no counterplay for this one to happen, because this one needs to be hit. Even though if opponent doesn't have PG, but they are at like 13k base, right? It's really hard to make any push. You know what I'm saying? 13 plus 5 is 18. 18 plus 8 is how much? Right? It's 26. Yeah, it's basically 26, right? 26 attack side, and then reset, and then attack vanguards, right? Attack vanguards, no guard, right? And next turn, my turn, you attack me till 4, it's fine, and then my turn, I persona right, I attack you again, right? 33 vanguards, some crazy skill around, right? If they attack you with persona right, you lose a huge, because on your next turn you're gonna ride this, and there's no persona right with the end. That's the biggest flaw, is that this unit cannot, when the end ride on Overlord, it does not get the 10k. That's the biggest flaw of this of Overlord deck. That's the biggest flaws. And if you go in second, this one does not help at all. Nothing at all. If you go in second here, you can retire, right? You can stack soul, and then you can retire, right? You can attack. Your soul blast will attack, right? You don't need counterblast to hit them hard, and also because your vanguard doesn't need counterblast to work, your early game can do a little bit harder. You know, you can hard push them. You know what I'm saying? Because you get those 2 extra cards from riding and drive checking in level 1, right? You're gonna push harder. And then if you push harder, then they're gonna call rearguards. After they call rearguards, right, you use this to retire. Yeah, something like this. So I mean trigger is on your choice, right? I still recommend this 20k base. You know, if you go in second, 20k shields. If you go in second, this helps us a lot for sure. And of course, if you want to change this to crit, it's your own choice. But for me, I still want to run this. This is so much valuable, so much values. And for this, of course, 10k booster and 15k shields is really huge. And this one, I mean, this one is pretty good. If it's pretty damn good if you go in first or second. No problem. This one is a must. Search for Overlord. This one is a must. Get a power boost to Overlord. Especially this one, 18, right? You run on this 18 plus another 5 is 23. Magic number. Yeah, and yeah, I didn't. This is it for the video. And I will say it again, if you really like this deck, if you really like Overlord, you should build like this. so you can have more comfortable play, going second or going first. Of course, going first is a little bit weaker now because you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 extra card that is non-overload boost. But if you're going second, if you don't use his right line, if you don't use his card, basically you lose the advantage. Basically you lose a lot for sure. So I still recommend you to use this right line, at least this right line, probably this, but I want this because of when they going first, right, they want to push you to as far as possible, right, because of they going first, because they know that next turn they can survive your attacks, right? If they can survive your attacks, then they're gonna persona ride. After persona ride, they're gonna attack you, right? They're gonna have 2 type persona ride. You only have 1 time of this persona ride, which is really not fair, right? And then you're gonna lose the game just because on the persona riding. Persona ride is so important, for sure. But yeah. So in conclusion is that if you're going first, you use this right line, right? That's why I have 1 copy. If you're going first, you use this right line, but if you're going second, you use this right line, which is really helpful. If you use the right line, basically 99% of the time you're gonna have this in so, right? 99% of the time, basically, because you have 4 copies, right? It's really easy. And then if you're lucky, if you soul charge 1, you soul charge 1, right? And then when grade 3, you don't write this, you just write this. Immediately you have the power. Yeah, then I think that's it for this for the discussions. I would say it again, if you like this deck, I think you should build like this way, so you're comfortable of going first or going second, especially going second, right? You're so comfortable going second, right? And then if you're going first, you just use this right line. So if you're really a fan of Overlord, if you want to build build a deck, I think this way you should build the deck. But if if you're not really a fan of Overlord, I would recommend you to try other decks than this, because Phantom Blaster is even better than this deck, just because they have a Rhaegar. They able to soul charge their previous unit, right? They able to soul charge the old grade 3 inside the souls. But right now Overlord doesn't have this mechanics, because they don't have these mechanics. That's why they're weaker. They're so much weaker than Phantom Blasted Dragon. Yeah, I think that's it.